LeBron James staying in LA on a maximum deal for his 22nd NBA season. Agreed to return to the Lakers. That's a 2-year, $104 million contract, includes a player option for 2025-26 and a no-trade clause. Our Kendrick Perkins had a fascinating take on why this new deal could mean the end in LA soon.
A 2-year deal with a player option on the back end tells me that we're coming to an end, that LeBron James is taking this year by year, and I wouldn't be surprised if this may be his last year playing the game of basketball. Here's the thing when it comes down to LeBron James and to the Los Angeles Lakers right now. To me, this seems like they're on two different pages. Every single time he steps on the floor, LeBron James is thinking about championships. Rob Pelinka is thinking about the future.
All right, Wendy, it's a 2-year contract for LeBron in LA, but obviously there's things that go along with that. What did you make of what Perk had to say about LeBron's new deal?
Yeah, well, this is actually what he did 10 years ago this summer when he went back to Cleveland and framed his contract in a way that would give him maximum maneuverability and maximum earning power. I don't think you should undersell the money aspect in this. LeBron did offer to take less money to help the Lakers. They were not able to take advantage of that and find something in free agency, so now he's maximizing his earnings. And the way that you do that, the salary cap is expected to jump next year. The max contract will jump. He can opt out and re-up next year at a bigger number than he would by simply opting in. Plus, with the no trade clause, he guarantees himself full control over his future. At this point, when you're 40 years old in the NBA, everything is year to year. That's inherent. I think this just gives him maximum options and maximum control. And a player at his stage of this career, you would expect something like that. So I actually don't think there's anything about this contract that's even surprising. It's just something the Lakers haven't seen with him before. He's done it before.
Bobby, what'd you make of what Perk had to say about LeBron, the Lakers, 2 different pages, his future, all that stuff?
Well, I just look at it that it takes 2 to tango, and the Lakers don't have a dance partner right now, right? If you're going to go out and make a trade, there's got to be a willing participant on the other end. Listen, they would love to go out and get DeMar DeRozan, but Chicago's not going to take back the D'Angelo Russell contract. They would love to go get Tyus Jones from the Wizards, but the Wizards aren't going to take back salary here. So there's got to be a willing participant. We know the hand they have. They've got 2 picks in 2029 and 2031. They have 4 seconds to move. They're right against that second apron where they're limited as far as the ability to take back money here. So I understand what Perk is saying here, but this is not a team that's flushed with draft capital and nice young players that they would like to move in. And Austin Reeves, I don't see them moving him in a deal unless an all-star level player becomes available, and that player has not become available.
Zach, if this is the roster, if this is what the Lakers have, right? We just heard Perk say every time he steps on the court, LeBron's thinking about championships. Is this a roster, the Lakers, that can actually be competitive as it's currently constructed?
Yeah, if Perk were here, as he would say, I would address him like the numbers of the house and say, hey, what is the move that you want Rob Pelinka to make to turn this team from a team that won 1 playoff game into a team that can win 12 playoff games against juggernaut after juggernaut in the West? The names Bobby Marks just mentioned, DeMar DeRozan, Tyus Jones, those are good players. DeMar DeRozan is probably going to make the Hall of Fame. Those guys don't close the gap between the Lakers and the Thunder, the Wolves, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, and on and on and on. Even that is not enough. The bottom line is this. The Lakers have been chasing their tails as an organization since the Russell Westbrook trade, where they send out basically an entire championship supporting cast of 2-way players. And Alex Caruso, they had already let walk before that. They'd love to have him back, and reoriented their team. It was a bust, and they've been chasing their trails trying to fix it ever since. They've actually done a pretty decent job. They're a good team in the Western Conference. That's a hard thing to be. There's a big gap between good team and great team, and I'm not sure how they can close it.
And Wendy, when we from the Bronny James press conference the other day, when they introduced their draft picks, Bronny James and Dalton Knecht, we heard J.J. Redick, new head coach, talking about the developmental plan for Bronny, for the team in general. If that's where the Lakers' focus is right now, on development, do you expect them to do anything else this offseason to try and improve next year's team?
Not that sacrifices their ability to make a major move in the future. D'Angelo Russell is a very tradable contract. He's got 1 year, $19 million. He had a good season last year. They can use that to upgrade a little bit, but I think what the Lakers don't want to do is fall for the fallacy that they're one player away. They're only one player away if that guy's an in-the-prime Hall of Famer, and that's what they're waiting for. And I almost don't blame them, because in the history of the Lakers, you're always only 1 or 2 years away from a Hall of Fame player wanting to be there. So I think they're trying to be prudent. They're trying to hope that JJ's coaching techniques and strategy changes, in addition to develop their young players, will make a big difference.
LeBron knows exactly what this team is. He's a basketball genius. He knows that they're not that close to winning a title. They're in the sort of second tier of Western Conference teams. Not only does he keep re-signing, he tacked on a no-trade clause so that if the Lakers even think about moving him somewhere out of Los Angeles, he can say, no, thank you, I veto it. He knows exactly what this team is. He keeps re-signing. The Lakers know that. And those 2 draft picks Bobby mentioned, 2029 and 2031, if they trade those unprotected, A, those are very valuable. They can get real stuff for them. And B, boy, do they leave themselves naked down the road. And they got to think real hard, is that worth it, depending on who comes in the door?
Right. And speaking of who comes in the door, it's not like they didn't try to make any splashy signings. They did. LeBron had several deep conversations with Klay Thompson about the idea of playing together. That's according to sources who told that to ESPN. New details from Ramona Shelburne and Kendra Andrews shedding some light on why Klay Thompson did not sign with the Lakers and instead signed with Dallas. In the article, which is now posted on ESPN.com, this is a quote from the article. Something about playing for the Lakers apparently felt too much like playing for the Warriors for Klay. As one source close to him put it, would this be trading one fishbowl for another? All Thompson had talked about in the 2 weeks since he had decided and accepted that his time with the Warriors was over was wanting new experiences and a fresh start. So, Windy, I mean, look, it sounds to me, and maybe I'm oversimplifying, that Klay went, well, which place gives me a better chance to win, Dallas or the Lakers, and picked Dallas. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, that's a very kind way of saying that he didn't think the Lakers could get it done, just like the Warriors weren't good enough last year. The Warriors had big names, gigantic payroll, national television games every 3 days, and at the end of the day weren't that good. Whereas he's sitting around, and I know he may have only come to the firm decision that he was going to leave the Warriors, a couple of weeks ago, but this has been trending in that direction for months, and the Warriors were home for the entire postseason. So Klay sat there and got to watch the Mavericks go through that tremendous run. He got to sit there and watch them during the finals where they couldn't hit a three-pointer, knowing that he could fill that role and knowing that they would have interest in him. It was a whole long recruiting pitch. I know that it came out to the public. It seemed like it was a quick decision over a couple of days. Klay contemplated this for a very long time. And from a basketball standpoint, Dallas is a no-brainer over the Lakers right now.
Bobby, you agree that Klay Thompson made the right decision here for him and the rest of his career?
I just look at it as a clean fit. I mean, you look at this Dallas team that got to an NBA Finals, they lost basically one player, Derrick Jones Jr., and you replaced him with Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, and Quentin Grimes. Those are certainly 3 nice upgrades for this Mavericks team, and certainly getting out of the LA, San Francisco spotlight helps. There's, as we said, there's less chaos in Dallas. The appeal of playing with Luka, the appeal of playing with Kyrie, I think that certainly takes into consideration here.
Yeah, it says something about where we are that you're going to pick Dallas over the Lakers for a chance to win. But Zach, he also picked Dallas over the Warriors for a chance to win, which says something considering what the Warriors have been over the last decade or so. Did the Warriors mismanage the Klay situation on his way out the door?
I think on an emotional level, yeah, they did. It should not have been this acrimonious. The lines of communication should have been more open. But on a practical level, this is just kind of what happens. Great teams get old. They get less good, less great, mediocre, whatever. And some of the pieces maybe start to fray off. Timing also played a part in this. Klay, it's been reported, was a little bit salty that they paid Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green and never paid him. Part of that is timing. So they extend Wiggins after they win the title at what looked then like at a bargain price for a championship team. Then Draymond last summer, he was an unrestricted free agent. He could have just left. Klay still had a year left on his contract. The Warriors had the luxury of time delaying Klay Thompson. That was just the reality of how the contracts ticked off. But to Klay, that felt personal. It felt like he was the last priority. And now he's gone to a team that these two teams, the Warriors and the Lakers, they were playing teams last year. Dallas, they were just in the finals. He saw that. He knows what he wants, and now he's gone.
A lot of big shifts in the power structure in the Western Conference.